Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Mike, I'm an aspiring mangaka and concept artist, and if you struggle to create relatable characters, you've come to the right video. Today I'm going to be talking about how to create character backstories and their design. Let's get started. Okay people, sorry, no face cam today. I'm actually not really feeling too well, so let's get started. The most important thing to come up with is the personality and backstory of your character before you start to design them. The reason for this is because the design should support or supplement your character's backstory. It wouldn't make sense to design a character that has blue and ice-like portions of their body, but they're actually a fire user, for instance. Or it also wouldn't make sense to have a character's color scheme be bright and fun if their personality is kind of standoffish and reserved. When I say you should come up with the backstory first, that doesn't mean that you have to write the entire story, develop the character's arc from start to finish before you even set pencil to paper. While that might be useful for some people, I would argue not everyone would have that kind of patience. Instead, there are a few things you should figure out before you start to design. 1. What kind of power/magic do they use? 2. What is their overall personality type? 3. Who are their parents and what was their family like? 4. Their age range. And 5. What's their motivation? I think that this should give you enough to at least start a design. But if you want to fully develop your character so they feel a little bit more relatable within a story, you'll have to do a bit more research. There are two resources that I would like to plug at this point. Neither one of them are paying me to say this. Number one is World Anvil. I use World Anvil and it's absolutely amazing. They have guides and templates that have so many questions to fill out about characters, plot points, items, magic, etc. And it's so helpful with the world building aspect of the work. The other part of it that's really fantastic is that it gives you a really good organizational tool to help keep everything within your story in one space. You can kind of link things together as well, so if one article could possibly relate to another, you can kind of hyperlink both of them and, go between the two. The other resource is Araki's book, Manga in Theory and Practice. I actually have a video on that, so please check that one out if you are a little curious about this resource. He is the creator of JoJo's, and he created this book to help people create manga. He provides a sheet on there that basically gives you everything that you need to have a working idea of who a character is. I'm not going to provide an exhaustive list of things that you should think about, but I will give you a few more points to think off of based off of the first ones that I've already given, and based off of my experience using both of these resources. So, 1. What special skills do they have? 2. What is their fighting style? 3. What makes their personality different than others? 4. What are their hobbies? 5. What habits do they have? Good ones and bad ones. 6. Do they enjoy drugs? 7. Are they close with family members? 8. What is their attachment style? 9. Do they welcome friends? 10. What are their fears? 11. What are their aspirations? 12. Their criminal record? 13. Do they have any rivals? 14. Do they have any trauma? And 15. What are their accomplishments? I could go on and on. And again, you might ask, why do we really need to know this about characters before we create or before we write? Well, if you develop a character well enough, the story actually writes itself. For instance, what would happen with a kind-hearted character who has a past history or a past trauma of witnessing a loved one pass away right before their eyes, and they're in a situation where they have to either take a life or risk their own? What if you put a character with a more morally gray personality type that has a history of trying to survive on their own in that exact same situation? What if you were to put those two characters together in that situation? If you can't tell the positive to figuring out all of these things, it's that you can create just situations and then place a group of characters together in those situations, and they almost simulate that for you, right? They kind of create the story for you. That is the power of developing your character in this manner. The more information you unearth about them, the easier it will be for them to simulate these situations for you, and the easier it will be to write your story. Okay, design. I do have a video on character design already. It's called 5 Aspects of Character Design You Should Learn. In that video, I talk about shape language, color, practicality, connection, and hook. Check out that video for more information on those things, but I want to specifically talk about how the things above might impact our character and their outward appearance. So, suppose your character has electric powers, and it flows within their veins, creating a glowing phenomenon in the areas blood flow hits the most, i.e. the heart. There are a billion designs that could help make that look really eccentric and cool, but what if the character is reserved or ashamed of their power because of their parents' background or the way that they achieve this power? They might do all that they can to cover it up or appear as normal as possible. Maybe it even impacts their willingness to use the power. Now you've also created a powerful moment within your manga where the character inevitably has their true nature revealed. Maybe they were seen as weak and powerless amongst everyone around them, but in reality, they're one of the strongest characters in your world. They just don't like to show it. And all of this can be kind of shown through your art, but you have to have a thought process behind it all. I will again talk about shape language because it's vital to how effective your character's look actually is. Shape language allows your character to seem like they exist in a world. If done correctly, it will look as though their armor or design was custom created by them in a way that feels organic and natural. If done wrong, it will look like chaos and you won't have a clear message to your readers, and that makes for a really bad design. Things that look cool don't always work together. There has to be some form of continuity behind it in order for it to look like it can actually be placed in the world. In the video before, I had kind of discussed Diablo from JoJo's Part 5 and how I felt his design was fantastic. Your character should be that well thought out in their design, and that can't really happen without having a clear understanding of who they are. Alright everyone, I hope that you enjoyed the video. I am again sorry for not doing the face cam, I just don't really feel well and it would not have gone well today. But I hope that it was a helpful video for you. Please check out the other videos that I mentioned in this video, because if you have questions around like actual artistic character design, my other video would be really helpful for you. And I'll try to continue to kind of mix and match some of these videos of doing writing tips but also doing drawing tips as well, so that you get kind of both, because that's really what manga is, right? It's both of them coming together in uniformity and hopefully giving something to a reader that they either haven't seen before or it's a fresh take on something that they do know. So anyways, I hope that you enjoyed it. If you stuck around to the end, I really appreciate you. I'm Manga Mike, and I'm out.